My next guest is someone who sits right at the intersection of where business meets the future. And honestly, where most small business owners have no idea they're falling behind. We're talking about AI tools, how they're changing the way people search for products and brands, and more importantly, how you, as a small business owner or e commerce brand, can actually use this stuff to get featured in organic media and show up when someone's asking ChatGPT or Perplexity what to buy. Today, I'm welcoming to the show Gloria Chao. I'm very excited to have this conversation around AI topic, and I know so many of you have been interested in this topic, and there's a lot of noise around this as well, and what we should be doing in our business, and how we can be using AI to be showing up in our searches and through ChatGPT. And I wanted to bring on a guest expert who has so much knowledge in this space. So welcome, Gloria Chow. I'm so excited to have you today.
I'm so excited to have this conversation because for people who are listening, if you're already listening to this conversation, you are already ahead of 90% of other small businesses who are not even aware of this rapid shift that's happening. So I'm really excited to have this conversation because I always want to be at the forefront of things. I don't want to be behind.
No, and it is changing so rapidly. But first, can you just share a little bit about you and how you got into this space?
Yeah. So I'm Gloria Chao. I am the number one small business PR coach according to AI. I don't have the fanciest relationships. I just hacked it on my own, being an outsider. Here's a secret. I've never worked a day in my life in any PR agency. So I'm not your traditional PR gal. If you think about traditional PR, it's very gate kept, right? It's about paying for access, thousands of dollars, 6 month retainers. And for most of us, it's just not feasible. And so I thought that's not fair. We should be seen too. So I just started picking up the phone and started calling newsrooms and cold pitching. And I cracked the code on how to cold pitch and a formula for PR that made it accessible. And now with AI does most of the heavy lifting for us. So all the stuff that the agencies would charge you for, brainstorm, finding an angle, positioning your pitch, AI does that. So I'm really excited to get into it. So that's really my ethos. I'm your non-traditional PR girl. I actually studied international relations. So I was working in the government, completely different career thing. But I just love advocating for small businesses. And so I'm just like your unofficial hype woman. And right now we have this amazing community of small businesses and founders who are all just advocating for themselves and getting featured 10, 12, 13 times and just having people find you, which is the best part about PR is that people find you on gift guides, on Google, on ChatGPT, which is where people are going right now as we speak for shopping inquiries.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and share more about how businesses can show up in those search results with AI. But I think if someone hears AI search and like we immediately just go, I don't even know where to begin with that. And
Yeah.
how would you explain what's actually changed in the way that we are being found and brands and
Yeah.
businesses are being found right now?
Yeah, so 2026 is the definitive year where the original way that people find, discover, and buy has forever changed. And we know that this is happening for a while, right? We know that AI is taking a lot of traffic from Etsy, Shopify, traditional search. But I would say 2026 is the year because now ChatGPT has integrated inside of Shopify. It has integrated with PayPal, Amazon, Walmart, Etsy. And so more and more people are going to not just type into Google or maybe search on Etsy, they're just going to pick up their phone and start talking to the AI they already use. If you think about your own adoption of AI, right? You could be maybe 6 months ago, not even downloading ChatGPT, and now you use it for a lot of things. It's an exponential growth of when people start to use it and to when they depend on it. People are even using it for therapy. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that there's a dependence on it, and people tend to trust AI. AI converts 4 times higher than any other organic platform. So think about it this way: there's never been a platform that converts higher other than maybe your best friend whispering in your ear, referring something. But for people who have never found you, there's never been a higher converting platform. And I want to be, I don't know about you, but I want to be at the point of discovery where people are ready to buy, to whip out their credit card. And we know for a fact that it is AI search. People are buying, they're asking AI. And this is a quote that I want to leave you with, which is a mindset shift, which is people scroll to browse, but they ask AI to decide.
Wow.
And that is absolutely true, right? And so most of us were still optimizing for attention. How do I get seen on Instagram? That's not the game anymore. If you want to be successful, you don't just want to be seen, you want to be chosen.
A pretty powerful thing, yeah, to think about, and how much our behavior has changed when now that AI is around. And I think, even as an example, I think that we're using ChatGPT even more than what Google is being used for now as a search platform.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
before our conversation, I shared with you how, like, a fellow business owner had recently shared that she received a sale through ChatGPT. And I would love to dive into this a little bit more, because she had no idea that this was even a thing that she could be, that her little online store could be found on ChatGPT. And I would love to dive
Mm-hmm.
into that, and for you to share how do we actually set up our store so that we are found through these search channels in AI?
Yeah, I love what you're asking about that because, like you said, it is this golden window of opportunity where small businesses can absolutely compete with the big brands and get AI to pick us. And the reason why is because this is still new, right? It's like this is like the SEO before it became SEO, or like blogging in the 2000s, or getting on TikTok when it just started. So this is the next new thing. And so right now, AI is picking winners and losers. They're trying to form an opinion about you. So if you make travel mugs, or if you make a yoga mat, or if you make a bath soap, when someone types that in, how does it decide who to surface? And they want to pull from trust features. This is actually proven from ChatGPT. I've asked ChatGPT, what do you consider? How do you decide who to recommend? And they said they're looking for third party validation. So, like you being cited on a gift guide, you being in a magazine, you being on a podcast, right? That's other people talking about you. I always say marketing is you talking about you. PR is other people talking about you. That's what the LLMs, the large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and Gemini, that's what they're pulling from. And so the more consistently we can give it something to pull from, the higher our rankings will be. We had someone who makes travel scarves, and she got featured on the Today Show. And so now when you type in all purpose travel scarves, that company pops up. And it's not because of ads. And so this is a real revolutionary shift. If you think about every other platform for discovery, Pinterest, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, who are the people who get seen? They're the people who spend the most, right?
Mhm.
Or they're the people who are the most quote unquote popular. And with AI, they don't care about popularity. They don't like people. And you can't really buy your way to the top of these things. So there has never been a window of opportunity for us small businesses to come in and dominate this, because you can't buy your way to the top of ChatGPT right now. So the
Mm.
window is absolutely right now. So in order for the LLMs to decide whether or not to recommend you, you just need to consistently be showing up and have other people talking about you. And there's no higher credibility signal than being in the media. So that's like a gift guide or a listicle or a magazine or a podcast. I'm not talking about those pay to play scams that they're like, pay to be in this random award category. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when an editor, journalist, or a writer is writing about you. Maybe they're doing a product review or someone's featuring you on a blog. That's what I mean.
Wow. Okay. So that's really interesting. So really, with their Shopify store, it doesn't have anything or much to do with the way their SEO and that works. It's more about where they're being featured and other people talking about them.
Yeah, so traditional SEO is still here,
Yeah.
but AI is stealing its traffic. We know for a fact that Etsy and Shopify traffic has gone down over 22% and counting because of ChatGPT, because people are just looking at ChatGPT, and you can check out without ever leaving ChatGPT. You can type in I want a housewarming gift and a mug, right? It'll show different things from Etsy you can check out. So we know that behavior is happening. And if you are a smart founder, if you're a smart shop owner, the question is not how can I get more followers? The question is how can I meet the customer when they're at the point where they're ready to buy? And so that absolutely is going to be in a gift guide article
Mm.
or in AI. Now, of course, you can still blog, you can still be on social media, and it does help a little bit, but there's no highest, most powerful trust signal than PR. Here's another thought is if your Instagram gets hacked, banned, or restricted tomorrow, what's going to happen to your business? Or this is my favorite. People are like, oh, I can just go to markets. God forbid something happens to you and you cannot physically go to a market. What's going to happen to your business, right?
Yes, just
So,
like a few years ago where we were all in
mhm,
lockdown. Yeah. And no
right,
one could go to markets or do anything like that. I think that's,
right.
yeah, great
Yeah,
example.
so I just want to everyone to think, how can I create visibility that compounds that doesn't stop the moment I stop feeding it like ads or doesn't so this is what I'm thinking about is like how can I create sustainability and scalability in the long term? Because
That
you're going to
is
tap
such,
out of your neighborhood. You're going to tap out of your local markets.
yeah,
It's exhausting. It's not
yeah.
sustainable. If you are in it to win it, if you're in it for the long run, the most successful businesses right now are looking at how can I show up and get AI to pick me? Because that's going to expose you to people who have never heard of you.
Yeah, that and at the moment there's quite a big and someone who I've worked with in the past, she's just had her whole accounts deactivated and I think and it's happening to quite a lot of other e-commerce brands as well
Ah,
where bots are picking up certain things that, and they're automatically just disabling all of their accounts. And now
crazy.
they're like, what do we do? We
Yeah.
no longer have social media. They can't even create new ones because they're being blocked from doing that. And so I
Yep.
love how you share creating a sustainable business that if we don't own our following, we don't own any of that on social media. And so what if one day they decided that Instagram and Facebook was no longer going to exist or
Yeah.
TikTok was no longer there anymore? So I love that,
Yeah.
yeah, you share that. So maybe if e-commerce brands, if that is how they're being found and being featured in, can it be basically, any guides? Because I know that there are during Mother's Day, Father's Day, like Christmas even, there's a lot of brands or agencies that put together gift guides and those sorts of things. They're the type of ideas we should be looking at to be found. Is that right?
Yeah, PR is really simple and don't let people tell you otherwise. They're just trying to monetize on you. But at the end of the day, PR is just writing a relevant pitch and sending it to the right person. And notice how I said relevance, because I think a lot of times we think we need to be newsworthy and innovative and earth shattering. But if you think about sparkling water and Liquid Death, which is the water company, they're still bottling water. So they're not inventing anything new and they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So your job as a founder is not to reach this bar of innovation. It's just, do you have something, a product that is relevant for the season that we're in, for the occasion that we're in? Whether it's spring, summer, whether it's travel season, whether it's bridal season, whether it's New Year's, whether it's cold, whether it's National Hot Sauce Day, whatever that is, it could be Pantone color of the year. So instead of thinking about benefits and features, which we all do as founders, I want you to just take off that hat and put on this new hat, which is what is a relevant item for this season? So if you think about, we just finished Mother's Day, now we're getting into Father's Day. So one bar of soap probably is not a great Father's Day gift, but if you have a bundle, that could be great, right? And then think about like, is it a lower cost item like a stocking stuffer, or is it more like a luxury gift, right? So think about all the SKUs that you have and what's best for it. And here's the thing, Ashley, is that now AI has done the heavy lifting. So instead of you being like, oh, I don't know what to pitch, there's a tool called Perplexity.ai that does this exact thing and has single-handedly transformed the PR industry. It's wild that no one's talking about it because they're maybe still gatekeeping things. But now any small business owner using a free version of Perplexity.ai can scrape the internet for all of the trends, all of the things that the editors are talking about, and know exactly what is the angle, what is the position to make my brand relevant for whatever season that we're in. So that's why there's never been a better time to do PR. There's never been a more important time to do PR.
And also, it's like you say, it's available to all of us. We don't need to be paying big
Mm-hmm.
dollars to access that. It's accessible right now for all of us, which,
Yeah.
there is a no better time for that for small businesses as well. And I think we are doing it a little tough here. A lot of e-commerce brands at the moment, so much has changed in the last
Yeah.
few years, even the last 12 months. And so this,
Yeah.
they have access to this, and how can we use this in our business to be featured and shown, and then yeah, and show up inside of these AI tools. You mentioned before that people can, and I don't know if this is here yet, but where we can actually, we can search for something that might be necklace or whatever that might be, and then we can literally check out through, we no longer need to go to a store to do that. Can
Yes.
you talk
Yes.
through how that works? Because that is quite mind blowing in the way that we no longer need to leave a search engine to be able to complete a purchase.
Are you talking about how consumers or how you can actually get found on ChatGPT?
So, as say, I'm buying something, when you're searching for that item, when that item shows up, like a brand shows
Mm-hmm.
up, and you want to go and buy that, will that direct them back to the website, or will you be
Nope,
able
it's
to?
all in
Yeah,
app. So you
yeah.
can search across Etsy, Shopify, and there's a button to buy, a toggle down menu for the size, small, medium, or large. If it comes in sizes, you can click buy and check out in app. And so that's why the integration with
Mm,
Shopify and ChatGPT and Etsy and ChatGPT and PayPal and ChatGPT has made it easier for people to never leave their AI and check out all in one click. That's what the integrations are there for.
yeah, amazing. In terms of, I want to just touch on service a little bit and service businesses, and the way that they're also being found is relevant through PR as well. Yeah, and so it's working exactly the same for them too.
Yep, they're pulling from trust signals, and that includes your PR features, your mentions. So I don't make a physical product. I am a coach, right? And the reason why ChatGPT consistently surfaces me as a number one small business PR expert is because of the over 150 podcasts that I've been on. If you think about a podcast, it's providing the heading, it's got the structured metadata in the description. A lot of times there's a transcript, a lot of times it goes on YouTube. So there's so many different points of other people talking about me or me talking about myself on another person's platform, that feeds into the AI decision making layer. And
Mm,
so that is absolutely the number one way that it decides to surface me when people are typing in small business PR expert. And I have
mm.
people coming to find me all the time because they found me on ChatGPT or Claude or something.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just, it's how easy it is to just go and implement those things. So maybe let's, like, if someone hasn't actually thought about being that this is now accessible for them, maybe if we look at where should they first start? If someone was listening to this
Mm-hmm.
now and they're like, okay, what do I need to do first? What are those
Yep.
steps that someone needs to take?
Remember, PR is writing a relevant pitch and sending it to the right person. So let's talk about relevancy. Remember, AI can do that. So using a tool like Perplexity.ai, which by the way, no tech experience required, you literally download it, you start chatting with it. The reason why I like Perplexity more than ChatGPT, more than Claude, more than Gemini for this is that Perplexity is the best tool for information scraping real time on the internet. So it looks at trends that are happening right now. It looks at what is in season or what the consumer insights are. And that's what editors want. That's what magazines want, right? They want to cover something that people are already talking about. So if there is some movie that has gone viral, or is there a TikTok trend, or maybe a celebrity wore something? And that's what I mean is we want relevancy,
Yeah.
right? So the same thing that's trendy last year is not going to be trendy this year. And so Perplexity is the best information scraping tool. It has replaced my Google personally. And the first thing that you can type into Perplexity is say, I make XYZ item. My website is www blah, 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 blah. Scan my website for info and images and contacts and tell me the relevant trends, insights, and the specific data points I can use to tie my products to editorial gift guides and product roundups so that I can get featured. And if you're a service, you can say the same thing, but just replace gift guide with podcasts.
Yeah.
And then, boom, within 3 seconds or less, it has connected your business, your SKUs, your product, or your service to what is relevant and trending now. And it will actually tell you why editors might be interested in what you have to say or what kind of gift guides you should position yourself for. And then the second prompt would be, okay, great. I like what you're saying. Can you put all of these angles in a comparison chart of most to least likely to get featured in an article? And I'm a visual person, so it'll give you a beautiful chart of why it thinks it has X angle has the best likelihood to get featured, the data point that supports it, and where you should pitch it. And so it basically does what a PR agency would do that you page to do brainstorming, it does it for you all within 2 or 3 seconds.
Amazing. It's so
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then they would take that. So now we've got our angle and what we're going to pitch for, and then sending that out to those that may suit that brand and who has their audience as well.
So in our Get Future Accelerator program, we have the app easy prompts that you can spit out your perfect pitch each time. But what I just showed you with Perplexity is 60 or 70% of the legwork, right? Which is what is the positioning, what is the angle, what is the product? And then you might be saying, who do I send it to? So you can actually ask Perplexity as well and say, what are the gift guides or the magazines that I should pitch this to? So if you make a $200 candle, and if you know that apartment therapy doesn't feature anything over $100, not to pitch to apartment therapy, right? So it can do some preliminary research. Now, Perplexity is not a database tool. And so that's why we provide a really robust database with hundreds of journalists, but you can definitely get started with Perplexity. You can also go to free places like HARO, which stands for Help a Reporter Out, or SOS, which stands for Source of Sources. You can even set up a Google News alert to ping yourself of all the articles in your industry and copy and paste the journalist name in an ever growing DIY media contact list. These are all the ways that you can DIY it yourself. It'll take time, but you can definitely do that because right now, at the time of recording, there are so many writers looking for products to feature. There are so many magazines looking for experts to comment. And if it's not going to be you, it's going to be somebody else that they interview.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many things to think about and so much opportunity out there as well. And
Yeah,
also, I think we have different seasons to you guys. And so being featured, not just here, I think that's the incredible thing about an e-commerce brand is that you could potentially be looking for opportunities to crack into over in the overseas market just by doing PR and then being shown up in these AI tools. That
totally. We
has
love our Australian founders. We have an
that
Australian founder who got featured 13 times. 13 times. Melanie. She makes Lego figurines based on your photos. Her company's called Brick U. She got featured 13 times just after joining us using these exact methods. It's absolutely possible and it's okay that you're from Australia. That's not a hindrance whatsoever.
No, but I think that the only sometimes we think if we want to go into a new market, the only way is to run ads into that space or hope that someone on social media will see our post or see our TikTok or someone might share it. And that is the only way to get into a new market. But this just opens up so many more opportunities with no cost essentially
Yeah.
to just put it out there and try.
Yeah, I don't mind running ads, but no amount of ads is going to get someone to trust you. So if you make something that's adjustable or it's a body thing or something people are putting on their body, they're going to want that trust layer. And so I'd rather get the PR and then turn that into an ad. Or when people come to my website, I have the credibility so that people are more likely to convert.
Yeah, and I think this would work really nicely with a higher price point product. If you have a
Yeah.
brand, I have a sustainable fashion.
Or
But I
yeah.
think like when you have someone else talking about an ad where you're like sending it to a $300 product and it takes someone who's cold and never heard of that brand before, they might click on that ad and go to the website and browse and then they might go look at reviews and they might go Google it. And there's that process of 8 or more times before they're ready to maybe buy or build that trust relationship with you as a brand. Whereas if you have all of this others talking about you and sharing, I think it builds that trust much faster.
Yeah, 100%. It's again, it's not enough for people to see you because there's just so much out there. They have to trust you. And so that's why I say it's not enough to be seen, you have to be chosen.
So, where do you see things going in maybe the next? It moves so quickly, 6 months, 12 months, but I know that
Yeah.
you guys have just had access to the paid in ChatGPT to be able to run ads. Can you share a little bit about that? Because we don't have access to that yet, and just what
Yeah.
that opportunity could look like down the road.
I still don't see ads in my ChatGPT, and I know that Claude has said it will not run ads. So
Mhm.
that's why it's like this is our time right now. I would say the people who are listening, you're already ahead. But if you wait another 6 months, you will not be ahead, and everybody will be doing this and paying attention to this. But you're probably one of the first people to see where the shift is going. And
Mm.
so the PR features that you get now is going to be what feeds into the AI to recommend you for the upcoming season.
Yeah, and I think that there is a lot of noise out there, a lot of people saying you definitely need to be paying attention to this, and then the other side is don't do it, don't get sucked into it, but it's not going anywhere, right?
No,
It's here to
no, it is
stay,
here to
and
stay.
and I mean,
It's only gonna ramp up.
and so much changes so quickly with it. And I think that
Yeah.
finding someone who is in this space like yourself to go to that is able to share these changes and how things are moving so quickly, because I find that it's much easier to find one person who is the expert to go to, who knows what's happening, rather than just seeing all these posts and noise. There was this big movement of moving from ChatGPT to Claude, and everyone felt so overwhelmed. And should I ditch it? Should I not? So there is a lot of noise around that. And I think finding someone in this space who you can go to and go, oh, okay, I trust their feedback and their insights, that to me is really something that I've focused on
Mhm.
throughout this AI journey, because I almost
Yeah.
feel a little bit like someone learning Facebook ads and how it must feel for them jumping into the AI, because there's so much. But what you have shared has been really insightful, and I have
Thank
even
you.
learnt a lot just from what you have shared in this episode today. But I guess, is there case studies you could share of examples, or anything else that you want to leave with the audience
Yeah,
today?
I've already shared three. I think I shared the Australian, the founder with the Legos. I shared the travel scarves, who's now number one
Yep.
ChatGPT. We also have someone who makes eco-friendly reusable bags. So it could be for cosmetics or for kids snacks. And
Mhm.
she got featured so many times. She's not even doing any social media anymore. She's just writing on the SEO and the GEO wave of people finding her.
Could you
And
just
so
talk a little bit about GEO and what that stands for and how that also works?
Yeah, Geo is basically AI visibility, right? So
Mhm.
how the generative engines, the generative AI, so that's ChatGPT, that's Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, how they are deciding who to surface. And so
Mhm.
everything we talked about today is going to really help you give them the information they need. Because remember, they are looking for trust signals to decide who to recommend. And there's no higher trust signal than you being featured in a magazine, in an article, being talked about.
Yeah. Thank you, Gloria, so much. Is there anything you would like to leave with our audience today, if they are like, we've planted that seed of just go out there, so go onto Perplexity and just start having that conversation? I think that is also sometimes, it's how do I even start? And I'm like, I just start, have a conversation, just be like, here's what I want to do, and
Totally.
have
Yeah.
that conversation with it. But is there anything that you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, it's not like a complex prompt engineering. I've actually never learned prompt engineering. You can just have a conversation with it. But if you want to see this in action, like a screen share of bit by bit how it goes, I have a free AI masterclass you can watch right now. It's at gloriachaopr.com/masterclass. That's Gloria, CHOUPR.com/masterclass. And if you DM me the word Ash on Instagram, I will give you a freebie as well. If you're really into it and you're like, this is the year, I believe that AI is here to stay. I believe that customers are only going to use AI more and more, and you want to be discovered on that layer, I'll give you a freebie. So just DM me on Instagram at Gloria, CHOUPR, the word Ash, and I'll send it over to you.
Thank you so much, Gloria. And I will put all those in the show notes below anyway. But and I think we had a little conversation at the start about potentially coming inside of the membership and maybe doing a bit more of in-depth training on this, because I'm very visual. I love to be able to watch and see how things are done and implement it. And I think that would be so helpful. Or
Yeah.
even getting a group together. We chatted at the start. So we will have all of those details in the show notes, but thank you so much for your time. It's just been so insightful, and just where to start, how to get started. And if you're listening to this episode, we would love to hear your feedback on it. But thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.